You made it, my friend. Welcome. Come, sit down. Have a seat. We have a long journey ahead of us. But I'm glad you're here. Because I've been meaning to tell you something. Something that will help you on your journey. That will show you the path back to yourself. We are not here to be small. We are not here to play it safe. We came with a purpose, with a mission. And within every fiber of our being, that mission is downloaded into our DNA, into our soul. Everything is connected. It is time for us to realize the truth about ourselves, and the truth about the collective. I want to reveal to you something that has helped to take me into another level of consciousness, to help me take that next step on my path. I want to reveal to you something that not many people know, not yet revealed to the public. And I want to invite you on this journey with me, on this pilgrimage, to rediscover and remember who you are. But first, I must show you something. The only way for you to truly understand who you are is to understand who you are when you have a regulated nervous system, and understand how to get yourself back into that balance, how to find that center point within you, to get yourself back into that core foundation of yourself. That is key. Otherwise, we are prone to fall into these bad habits, these old patterns that keep us locked into these cycles constantly repeating these patterns and cycles, wondering when it's going to ever end. No matter what we do, it just feels like nothing ever works. Like no matter what we try, we always end up back in these same cycles. And sometimes it is better for us to begin new cycles, to begin a new voyage of self-discovery in order to step in to the next phase of our lives, to reach the next level, so that we can level up, take those steps that we need to take, so that we can find our way back onto our soul's journey, onto our life path. By regulating our nervous system, we are giving ourselves the ability to do this. Finding this balance comes in many ways. And I wanted to discuss one thing in particular that we all have, and the power that it possesses: your hair. Hi, I'm Cody, and I help people to activate their divine fire codes that will ignite your heart ablaze and open the door to limitless possibilities. Throughout our lives, we accumulate a lot of energy in our bodies, in our minds, and in our hair. Your hair acts as like an antenna for which it picks up signals from the outside world. In order for us to be able to properly navigate this world, we have to understand what is happening within our own bodies and understand how our bodies react to the external world. Your hair acts as a bridge where the body meets the soul, because you're able to tap into the energies outside of you, to pick up on them through the acoustic vibrations that reflect back in your hair from the acoustic vibrations of the environment around you. Due to your hair, you are able to tap into awareness that you didn't have before, because you are able to pick up on things before they happen. You're able to pick up on the vibrations of somebody coming, or something in the air that is shifting. You're able to feel that more effectively with your hair. Have you ever wondered why it is that your hair stands up whenever you get chills, you get spooked, or even if you get downloads? I don't know if any of y'all get what my girlfriend refers to as kriyas, but it's like these jolts of energy that surge through your body, and it's like it lights up your entire system. Like your nervous system is just like booming with this electrical energy, and it's like whenever you have a revelation or something that really is profound and something that really clicks. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but when that happens and you have that thought and it transfers in through your body, your hair stands up and you start to feel it in the entirety of your body. Like you have this, for me, it's like all of my hair is standing up and I can just feel like almost like a sense of cold, but also hot. I don't know, it's hard to describe. But our hair acts as an antenna, like I said, to be able to pick up these signals. And even when we are feeling certain things, it will cause our hair to stand up as if to trigger a response so that it can pick up on these signals better from the outside world. Because think about it, if your hair is standing up, then it's going to have a lot more ability to pick up and feel the air around it, to pick up these acoustic signals that are being sent from the environment, and to be able to transfer that into electrical energy down in through our bodies, in through our nervous system, so that we can properly interpret this and respond. And this all happens in a matter of seconds, just like bam. That's the power of your fight or flight response. But the problem is that we are running our lives and living this way every single day almost. We are living from our sympathetic nervous system is what it's called. We have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic serves to trigger that fight or flight response within you. That is the part of us that automatically ignites whenever we are in danger or we have an instant threat or somebody comes at us and we have to respond in the moment. It triggers that reactionary state of survival for you to be able to step into that instantly. And everything shifts into that energy, but it causes your body serious shifts chemically and physically when that happens. And over time, if this continues to happen, especially in our society nowadays with social media, having cell phones, so much technology, and just being stimulated all the time, it's like we are constantly in this fight or flight response. And there's no way for us to get out of that because we don't have a way to bring ourselves back to that balance, to re-regulate ourselves. So therefore, it causes us to not only live out our lives in this state, but also to project that onto others. And whenever we try to be successful, we try to push ourselves to do things, we instantly hit these walls. And it's like mentally, physically, emotionally, there's just no pushing through that. Now, I will say sometimes we are required to push through these obstacles and barriers that come up in our lives, because it's not going to be easy. Life is not easy. It may be simple, but it is not easy. Especially if you wish to live the life of your dreams and to step into this level of success that you truly desire, or to just be happy, live a happy life. It requires you to do things, to step into that, to take action to make it happen. But sometimes taking action could cause more problems. It can cause more harm than good. Because if you are living from a place of your sympathetic nervous system being triggered, then those actions that you take are only going to cause further and further damage and cause further and further dysregulation to your body. So the goal here is to bring ourselves back into the parasympathetic nervous system so that we can calm and regulate ourselves, to bring ourselves back. And that's why meditation and grounding out in nature, things like that, is so important, because it gives you the chance to just be present, and to let go of all these things that you need to do. I watched a video earlier today that was really profound, and talking about the various cues that we experience. And as we go through our lives, we are going to learn more about ourselves. And as we go through and we develop more programming and conditioning, these cues that come online for us happen in various situations, in various moments. But they happen as if like a trigger, like a switch is flipped. And in those moments, it is up to us to figure out and understand what works best for us to help regulate ourselves, to help bring us back to that balance, to help bring us back to that place of parasympathetic nervous system. So whenever you're doing something and you get triggered and you instantly get the feeling to go watch something on Netflix or to go distract yourself or go eat a tub of ice cream or something like that, in those moments, it is key to understand what helps you. So maybe you just need to bring yourself back and breathe. Just take 3 deep breaths in that moment. Maybe you need to go outside and ground yourself down in the earth, to feel the earth, to just feel the environment around you. This video that I watched earlier, I really liked the simple practice that it talked about, and just bringing yourself back into your body in the here and now, being aware of your environment. What are the surfaces around you? What are the objects around you? How flat or how rigid is the surface that you're looking at and you're touching? Just bring yourself back into the present moment and be aware of all these things, the colors, the objects, what the surface looks like. Is it rough? Is it soft? Is it smooth? Does it have wrinkles in it? What are you seeing and experiencing around you? Then ask yourself, are you safe in this moment? Feel that safety, because likely most of us are in a comfortable home where we don't have to worry about these threats, a tiger attacking us in the wild or something. By doing this, it brings you back to the present moment to see and feel what is happening right now around you. So as you can see, this is just my depiction. The hair as an extension of the nervous system. So the hair is directly tied and related to the sympathetic nervous system. So what happens is when the sympathetic nervous system gets triggered, these signals actually go into your hair. And whenever it goes into your hair, that energy gets stored in your hair. And as it talks about here, the stress and trauma that you go through in your life, that actually gets stored in your hair. And from what I understand, and I don't know if it's true, but once these hair follicles get damaged, once they have this trauma at their roots, they are permanently damaged. And this, I believe, is what causes a lot of generational hair problems as well, because you have something that triggered your sympathetic nervous system to cause your hair to fall out. And that was passed down through several generations. Now, there's a number of factors that could lead to things like this, but because the hair is so closely tied in with the sympathetic nervous system, every time that we feel our fight or flight response trigger, that energy gets stored in your hair. And so imagine if you went through your life experiencing abusive, horrific, horrendous trauma. That energy is going to be stored in your hair. And as you can see here, the hair has a protective outer covering. That's what the red represents. So this thing that I drew here is just your hair strand. This is your head. So as the hair follicle goes into your head, it has what's called neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters, as you can see here, there's several of them. These neurotransmitters begin in the presynaptic domain. That's what this area is. So basically what happens, it carries signals from the external world into your body. And this is how it does it. So these neurotransmitters take the information that was given from the acoustic signals that are received in your hair. So the acoustic signals from the external world is felt from your hair. The signals and the energy from that gets transmitted down in through your head by these neurotransmitters. And then from there, it's able to bridge this gap once it has enough energy and information. And from there, this is the postsynaptic domain, this area right here. When it does that, you're able to process and get this information transferred throughout the rest of your body. This here is basically the process that happens whenever you have a neuron in the brain that fires and you have a revelation or something that clicks in the brain. You have neurons that bridge this gap and make these connections. Once it has enough information, it has enough data to understand and make light of what is really happening, and like it forms a bigger picture. It forms a neural network from which you can communicate these different types of information, these different thoughts in a cohesive way. Basically, you're able to connect dots within your brain. And by working with your hair, you're able to tap into the energy around you and pick up these signals so that you can download that into your body, and you're able to more intuitively go about your day and understand when you are in situations that you need to get out of, and also understand how to regulate yourself more, how to get yourself back into that balance so that you can find that center point within you. As I touched on, the hair acts as an antenna to transmit data from the external world. It can be referred to as exteriorized nerves. And these are just a few reasons why to have long hair. It retains heat for cold. It's been used for camouflage. And there's also you're able to pick up, like we've talked about with the acoustic signals, to sense your environment. Reasons for having short hair. So if you notice, monks shave their hair off because it gives them a lot more clarity. It gives them a lot more focus. They're not picking up all these signals from the outside world. So they're able to lock in and to really go in to do their meditations, to do the internal work and also the external work. As I spoke of, it absorbs less energy. It's lower maintenance, so it's obviously less to take care of normally. And then it's just a sign of new beginnings. You know, if you, especially if you just shave your hair, then it's going to signify within your energetic field that you are moving on to something new. You're moving on to new pathways because of the damage that you may have accumulated throughout your life. Sometimes it's necessary for you to just cut off your hair so that you can grow it back with fresh and new roots that will help carry you through this journey. So this is part of the reason why the Native Americans would keep their hair. There's also many cultural reasons and spiritual reasons as well behind it. There's a whole list of different tribes and the different reasons why they would have long hair, the different types of hair that they had. I know some tribes may have mohawks and others would have long hair. From what I understand in doing my research though, cutting your hair, however, has been known historically to be a symbol of slavery, of obedience, of shame, a loss of power, defeat, because your hair is a signature of you. And just like your fingerprint is unique to you, your hair has imprints within it that are unique to you. And as a result of being able to pick up on the acoustic vibrations and the electrical signals that are sent through your hair into your body, this energy, it gets stored in your hair and in your body, and it becomes part of who you are, part of your identity. And I've had many friends who talk about once they cut their hair off, it's like people don't even recognize them. They treat them differently. It's really interesting, actually, the journey that I've heard people go through when they decide to cut their hair. As a result of, and that's another thing I was going to get to, is one of the reasons people decide to cut their hair is for new beginnings or mourning the loss of somebody. It's a symbol to help to represent something more. And it's not to say that you can't tap into abilities when you have short or bald hair. It's a different type of energy that you're tapping into. As I spoke about earlier, if you are bald or you have really short hair, one of the main advantages of that is you are able to truly lock in and focus because you don't have these external antennas constantly picking up on information around you. Not to say that you can't attune yourself accordingly, because the hair on our arms and our legs stand up as well when we start to sense things. We start to feel things. We start to sense energetic presence around us, or spirits or ghosts. You're likely going to feel those chills. But, sometimes they just come from maybe something that somebody said, or something that somebody did, or a thought that you had, or it just comes out of the blue. There's a historical evidence from doing my research that the Navajo code talkers were a big reason why we were able to win. I don't remember if it was World War II or Vietnam War, or if they used them in both. But during this time, they were able to send codes that and crack codes that they were able to pick up on because of their hair. And they even did tests and experiments to prove this. Now, I don't know how true it is, but from understanding what I know about hair and my own experiences, and just the fact that everything is connected and everything, our hair is not just for looks. It's been provided as a survival mechanism for us, used as camouflage, used as a way to sense our environment. So it only makes sense to me that this is a legitimate thing, that this was actually, I don't know if they actually did this, and this is actually how it happened, but supposedly they were teamed up in pairs, and they were able to decipher messages and pick up on things happening around the battlefield. And they experimented with this, and when they cut their hair initially, the natives weren't able to pick up on the signals as much as they were before. And they had a way of measuring. There's the test that they took, and apparently the test that they took, they scored lower after they cut their hair. Like I said, I don't know how true it is, and as promised, I wanted to show you something that has helped me to step into my own journey. Because as we were talking about these roots that we have, that we carry with us, it carries this energy, this trauma that we experience, and all of these tribulations, these trials and tribulations, these obstacles, and the stress that we've carried along the way, picked up along the way, the many identities that we have shed and shifted through. Your hair carries all of that. And that is why I ultimately made the decision to cut my own hair. Because I've changed so many times, had so many identity shifts within the past 10 years since I've started growing my hair out. And I've had friends that have decided to cut their hair for this reason, but I didn't truly understand it. Because in my mind, I didn't plan on cutting my hair until I was old. And honestly, I didn't plan on cutting my hair until like a couple weeks before it happened. I could feel it in my hair. It was like, I felt like my hair was talking to me. And the same feeling that I had to go to Egypt, that calling, that there was something that I had to do to take the next step in my journey. I felt like cutting my hair was that step. Was taking that leap into the unknown and releasing the past. Releasing all those things holding me back, so I can step into a new version of myself. That's what it was for me. And I honestly, like I said, felt like my hair was talking to me. It got so tangled, like ungodly tangled. I could brush it completely. I would spend half an hour to an hour brushing my hair, only for it to be tangled a few hours later. Like there was like permanent tangles in it that I just could not get out. It was like the energy in my hair was so stuck because my old self was fighting with my new self that I am stepping into, and releasing all these old versions, these old patterns that I had in the past, caused my hair to create this bind that I could not get out. It didn't matter what I did, it would always just get tangled. And it got worse over the past few months. And ever since getting back from Egypt, it was so bad. Like, ever since getting back from Egypt, I really haven't even been able to brush it. Like, I will brush it, But it's almost like I have to spend so much time and energy that it's not even worth it, because it's just going to get tangled again. At that point, I knew that something had to be done. Yeah, I could have got it cut shorter. I could have just, cut off a bunch of the dead ends, a couple inches off of it. But I felt within me that it was, now that I'm healing my roots, because I'm back living with I'm living with my dad currently at the moment. And I've been able to do so much healing work to get back to my roots, my foundation, to remember who I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago when I was here, and to step into that as a new version of myself. When I came back from Egypt, I carried with me fire codes that unlocked parts of my DNA. And as soon as I got back, things started to fall into place. It was like everything started to happen in a cascading effect that I didn't even have to take action towards. I was taking action, but things were happening on their own and continue to happen. And as I step into this more and more, it creates more momentum, and I start to channel more and deeper into who I am and express that on video, express that to you so that I can connect with you deeper and help you connect deeper with yourself. Because ultimately, that's why we're here, is to understand ourselves, to understand ourselves at the deepest level possible, so that we can live the best life, the best and most fulfilling life. Because when we are living that life, not only does it make our lives better, but it makes everybody else's lives better around us. And that, my friends, is how we create a movement, how we create a ripple. We start with ourselves. It starts with you, making that change within you, and stepping into something more, a transformed version of yourself. Stepping into that fire and embodying this new aspect of you, releasing all the old patterns, releasing all the old aspects of yourself. Through the fire of impurity, you're able to burn off those levels of purpose to get back to your core purpose. So now I want to cut to a clip of me before I cut my hair. It was probably maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I believe it was about a week before I cut my hair, of me making a video in the moment of dealing with it being incredibly tangled and just at my wit's end with it, and just being able to see and feel my energy and how it's shifted, to see how by stepping into this, it's helped me to step into other aspects of myself. And funny enough, as soon as I cut my hair, I swear to you, there was 3 new neighbors that I've purchased and have been doing work around where we live. It's like as soon as I cut my hair, we got new neighbors that came in, and new neighbors have started building a house across the street. It was like it all started after I cut my hair. And it's crazy because the external reflects the internal. It may sound a little wild and esoteric, but the concept of reality shifting is all about an infinite number of realities existing simultaneously, overlapping with each other. The difference between those realities is the decisions that you make. The decisions that you make in this present moment. Every decision that you make is going to shift you into a new reality, a new paradigm. So by me cutting my hair, I instantly shifted into a new timeline that if I didn't cut my hair, I would have went down a different timeline with a different set of actions, a different set of results. I would have connected with different people or had a different message to share. I wouldn't be sharing this message if I didn't cut my hair, because the whole reason why I'm sharing this message is because I cut my hair. And why? Because I didn't feel I could just jump in and start making new videos without really talking about why I cut my hair. Because this is such a turning point in my journey. not only as a student of life, but as a coach and a teacher. And just being able to understand myself better so that I can help express that to others and give that medicine back to others. It's not about the hair. It's about the symbol and what it means. What it means for us. What it means for you. Personally. When you understand that, and you understand that it's not only with your hair, but also different things in your life. When you start to clear out aspects of your life that aren't serving you, that aren't helping to bring out the best version of you, or you cut out, people that aren't helping you to step into that, you start to see that new opportunities open up without you even trying. Because there's almost, if you could picture like an energetic room, and within that room we have all these boxes piled up. It's our friends, it's our physical things, it's our beliefs. As you start to remove the boxes out of that room that don't serve you, that aren't helping your highest good, you start to remove not only clutter, but you start to open up that space for something new to come in. And I've heard of plenty of stories of people clearing out, like cleaning their rooms, their houses, and just like throwing out a bunch of stuff. And then right after that, they get like some job promotion or some new opportunity that wasn't there before that they were looking for. Because as we clear out aspects of our lives, we open up other aspects to come in. And it's up to us to step into that. Well, it's almost that time. My hair's been getting really tangled. It's just gotten most of them out now, but it's like as I progress through this journey, it feels like my hair is battling with itself. Just like as we try to change and grow and evolve, what happens is that we often end up fighting against ourselves and not able to truly make the changes that we truly wish to make. And I've been feeling like my hair lately, no matter what I do to it, just feels like it's just getting tangled worse than it's ever gotten. Like completely, like crazy knots. Got a couple back there. And it doesn't matter if I brush my hair every day or not. It's like when I sleep, it gets tied up in itself. And it just feels like this energy of my old self trying to hold on to this new version of myself I'm becoming. And it makes sense now. I've had friends and I've had people in the past that have cut their hair as a way to signify new phases of their journey, new levels of growth, to be able to step into a new version of themselves. So yeah, it just feels like it's battling with itself, and it's just very symbolic, because as we go through life, we have to shed these layers of ourselves. And honestly, in my mind, up until maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have never even considered cutting my hair for years, at least. Like in my mind, I wasn't even going to cut my hair until I got old. But I feel like as we go through this journey, it's necessary for us to shed layers of ourselves, necessary for us to sacrifice the old version of ourselves that we were to become the new version of ourselves that we want to be. And with each passing day, I can just feel almost like my hair is speaking to me and telling me that it's time. I started growing my hair out about 10 years ago. And during that time, I was in college. But I began growing it out, and then I left college. But before my hair was actually fully grown out, it was probably, maybe it was starting to grow out by the time I had left. and went out on my own. And then I proceeded to continue to grow it out from there, and I went through a whole rebirth through that process. Because I went through a whole identity shift. I left college. I got a girlfriend who I ended up getting married to for a few years. And now I'm divorced. So there was that. So it took me through this phase in a new city with a new person, and it brought out a lot of different aspects. And we moved in with our family, and then we moved around, jumped around different aspects, different phases of our journey, doing different things, connecting with different parts of the community, hosting different events, community events, and it really showed me a different way of life and a way of being, because I'm from a small town. I didn't have those opportunities where I was at, to have that sense of community to where we come together for one unified cause was incredible. And I proceeded to go to many yoga events as well within the community. Yoga, meditation, all those types of events. I'd go like ecstatic dance. And over time, as things continued to unfold, I had a falling out with those people. The people that I considered my tribe. And during that time, not only was there a falling out with them, but there was an upheaval of things in the collective that came to the surface, as well as within. And then I met who I feel like is possibly my twin flame. She came into my life and really activated parts of me that I didn't have any idea that was even there. She activated these parts of myself that were lying dormant. And it was part of my journey that I really needed to go through to dissolve the old identity of myself and have a complete dark night of the soul. Because everything in my life during that time fell away. I lost my apartment, I lost my car, I lost my license. I was forced back to live with my dad and forced to rebuild. Hey, look at that. It's a giant knot in my hair. So for me, it was very transformational to go through that experience. And I even ended up in a city. I ended up going to jail for a night. I got pulled over because car issues. I was stoned. And yeah, basically it brought out these different aspects of me. It showed me the parts of me that was hiding, and the parts of me that were still afraid. So I ended up sleeping in a city where I knew nobody, in a storage shed outside of Walmart, because I didn't have anywhere to go, and I had court the next day. And it got pretty cold that night too. It was like 40 degrees. It was like 60 during the day, so I didn't think it'd be that bad, but yeah, it was an experience. And this led me back to my roots, back to my family, to where I grew up, and forced me to heal that, to heal the roots of myself. And I recently took a trip to Egypt, December 2023. And upon coming back, it feels like everything's beginning to shift in my life, just as I figured it would. When we take these pilgrimages, we step into a new version of ourselves. And we start to become a fuller version, a more embodied version of ourselves that we couldn't see before. We start to become who we've always wanted to be. Because it's almost like an initiation. Once you take that step shows that you are truly committed. It shows that you are ready. When I decided to go to Egypt, it was one thing to make the decision to actually go and to plan the trip and to do all the studies and all the prep work and everything. But, I could have easily just backed out of it. Part of me wanted to, I'm not going to lie. Part of me wanted to because it was scary. It was something new for me. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what would happen. And, it was a new experience. But when I decided to take that leap into the unknown, it brought to the surface aspects of myself that were like the final stages for me before I truly step into who I've always been capable of becoming. And it's like until I made this journey, I didn't have access to these options. I didn't have access to the ability to step into that. It was like this part of me was dormant, and the key to unlocking that was the pilgrimage itself because of what it brought out in me and who I became in that process. So upon returning, I was able to really integrate, and I had a lot of things come to the surface and things that really helped to solidify everything that I had learned the previous year before. I've recently been feeling like my hair wants to be released because it's something I started a different journey when I began growing this. And now that I'm here, now that I've spent basically a whole decade since then, since I've grown it out, I've changed so many times within that frame. It's almost like, because our hair is like receptacles. They're like tiny receptors on your body that pick up this energy, these frequencies around us. At certain points in our life, we have to make a change. We have to make a shift out of that, out of this old energy, out of these old stories that we have created for ourselves, and into the new. And sometimes it requires us to do things to take that initiatory step, like going on a pilgrimage or cutting your hair. Something to signify that you are serious, that you are making this commitment to yourself, to this new aspect of yourself, to this new phase of your journey. And when you do that, you start to reawaken parts of yourself that have been dormant. That, my friends, I'm going to leave you. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you and to be on this journey with you. I'm excited to see where we go from here and what this year brings. I feel like there's going to be a lot of change and transformation. And I'm ready to just step into that and to do that with you. And if you need help stepping into that in your own life, activating those fire codes and igniting your heart so that you can live your best life, I encourage you to take that leap, to reach out to me and book a call so that we can get to know each other, and maybe I can help you to take that next step in your life. This has been such an incredible pilgrimage. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Peace, love, namaste.